Hello everyone, my name is Amanda, and in today's video I am showing you how to make your makeup look like skin. I wore this exact makeup look to church the other day, and I had a friend come up to me saying, Amanda, your skin looks so good. Are you even wearing makeup? And to me, that was the biggest compliment. I was like, you think I'm not wearing makeup? I have so much makeup on my face right now, but clearly it looks natural. My skin is skinning. That was the best compliment to me. So I really just wanted to take that makeup look and bring it to a video today for you guys. Before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But yeah, let's get into it. Before applying makeup, it's so important to start with quality skincare if you want your base to look natural and skin-like. This portion of the video is sponsored by Dalba. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. So I'm going to start with the Dalba First Spray Serum. Their products are all hypoallergenic and vegan, so they're safe for even the most sensitive skin. These products contain white truffle, which is a natural antioxidant, and I am obsessed with the way their products smell. It's so refreshing, and look at that immediate truffle glow. Next, I use the Dalba Double Serum and Cream. I start with the lightweight serum and then use the cream on top for a rich moisture. I love that this product is so customizable depending on what your skin needs. I have normal to combo skin, so I use equal parts of both formulas. I've been testing these products for well over a week now, and my skin feels so moisturized. And I actually noticed that my fine lines are smooth when I use these to prime my skin for makeup. So this is the final glow. My skin is all prepped for makeup, and trust me, makeup applies so beautifully on top of these products. So let's get right into that. So typically, if I want my makeup to look like skin, I would go in with a tinted moisturizer or something with lighter coverage. My go-tos for this are the NARS Tinted Moisturizer or the Hourglass Skin Tint. Both of these are really, really good, but I'm actually gonna go in with a foundation today. I've been loving this foundation by Makeup Forever. This is their HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. I mix these two shades. I use 1N00 and 1N06, and I find this creates the perfect shade for me. I use about half a pump of each, and then I will just mix them together on the back of my hand. And if you watch my videos, you probably feel like I sound like a broken record, but trust me when I say less is more. When it comes to foundation, you can always apply more, but it is so much harder to take foundation off once you've applied it. So just start small, build up slowly. Plus, if you want your makeup to look like skin, you really don't want it to be too heavy anyways. I still have quite a bit of product on the back of my hand, but I'm gonna blend this out first before I add any more. I do love this Hourglass foundation brush, but when I really want my skin to look light coverage, I will go in with a damp beauty blender to blend out my base, and that's what I'm gonna use today. I'm just pressing that foundation into my skin, creating a really nice, even, thin layer. I would say a key aspect here, especially if you want your makeup to look like skin, really pay attention to color matching your foundation really well with your skin. Your foundation not matching your natural skin tone is a dead giveaway that you are wearing makeup, so we want to avoid that. Also, don't forget to drag a little bit of that foundation down the neck to blend your face and neck together. And you can see now why applying that base is really important, because if you have dry patches of dehydrated skin on your face, your makeup is going to cling to those patches and emphasize those patches. So when you moisturize your skin, obviously it softens everything out and gives you a really beautiful base to work with to melt your foundation into. I'm going to begin to add some definition to my face, and there's no better product to do this with than the Say Sun Melt Cream Bronzer. I want you to pay close attention to the shade that I've chosen. This bronzer shade is not a whole lot darker than my skin tone, maybe a couple shades darker, and you can tell it has a very natural, cool undertone to it. So this is actually gonna look like a shadow on my face versus a streak of bronzer on my face. So I'm just going in with a light hand, really pressing this into the skin, and this product melts right into the skin and looks really natural anyways. So I'm just gonna press this in on the perimeters of my face for the most part. I'm being pretty light-handed with this and really taking my time to melt this into my skin. I just want to pause for a second here. Can you see the difference of this side of my face versus this side of my face. The natural definition that gives is so important just to bring life back to our skin to make it look like skin. We want dimension to our face. Faces are not just one dimensional, kind of like we're seeing on this side of my face. So adding those shadows in is really important, not only to enhance your natural facial features, but also to bring life and a little bit of color back to the skin. All right, so for blush, I really like to go in with a color that is similar to how my cheeks look when they're naturally flushed. So for me, that's more of a rosy, pinky color with a tint of red. I believe this is discontinued, but I do just want to show you this color for reference. I think this is a beautiful natural blushing shade. This is just a super messy little swatch, but you can see how sheer that color is. It's kind of like a reddish, plummy, pinky color. It is so beautiful on the cheeks. It's Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. I'm not sure if you can get this, if it's been discontinued, but I did just want to show you the shade for reference. I am going to go in with one of my favorite blushes, which is the Say Dew Blush in the shade Rosy. And it's actually pretty similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one. It's not as plummy, it's more reddish, which is really beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite cream blushes at the moment. And I'm going to apply that right on the apples of my cheeks. And again, not going into too much. You really just want to dial it back when you want your makeup to look like skin. Trust me on that one. Just try the less is more approach. It really looks beautiful at the end once everything comes together. So I usually get flushed right on the apples of my cheeks, but wherever you get flushed, go ahead and apply your blush that way. I like to put a little bit on the nose too, because when I'm out in the sun, my nose gets a little bit red too. It's just gonna look super natural. And again, I'm just really taking my time to melt that into the skin. And if you want to really make this look super, super natural and soft, you can go in with your beauty blender, just bounce that over the edges of your blush, just to really melt that into the skin. So now for concealer. I like to use two different kinds of concealer when I'm doing a no makeup look like this. The first one I like to go in with is a concealer with a thin consistency, and that is the Tower 28 Serum Concealer. I'm using the shade BU. I love this concealer for all over the face, under the eyes. And I actually forgot to mention this earlier when I was doing foundation, but now that we're getting into concealer, I think it's important just to highlight the fact that leading up to this point, I really wasn't focused on hiding and concealing all of my imperfections. You're gonna wanna wait to conceal your imperfections when you get to the concealer part, because we tend to go overboard with the foundation covering all our imperfections, when in reality, you can just go in and spot conceal and it looks way more natural. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this concealer everywhere that I need it. For me, that's under my eyes, in the center of my forehead, a little on my nose and chin just to brighten that area, and then around my mouth and a little on my jaw where I have a little bit of discoloration and unevenness to my skin tone. And then to blend this out, I'm just gonna use my damp beauty blender, and again, really taking my time to melt this into the skin. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but apply less concealer and then go in with more later if needed. I really cannot stress that enough. Look at that skin. Oh my gosh, I love this skin routine so much. This concealer lays so beautifully on the skin. It genuinely does not look like makeup, but it still gives you a good amount of coverage. However, I will say, it's not the most heavy coverage concealer that I've ever used, and although I don't have any major spots that I need to cover up today, there are times where I struggle with acne that is really hard to cover up, and I know some of you do too, so I have the perfect concealer for that. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I call this my magic eraser. I've talked about this on my channel before. This concealer right here is just phenomenal. You only need a tiny little bit, but it really is high coverage without looking cakey or too heavy. I don't really have any spots I need to cover right now, otherwise I would demonstrate it for you. But for those of you who have acne that are looking for a really good concealer to cover those stubborn, annoying spots, try this one. It's so good. But now that we have all of our cream products pretty much laid down and applied, I am gonna go in very sparingly with powder. I do tend to get a little bit of creasing underneath my eyes and also in my smile lines, and so that can kind of take away the illusion of that no makeup look, but I found the perfect powder to really prevent creasing and fine lines. It's like a miracle powder, honestly. I've talked about this on my channel plenty of times, but this is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under eyes. And this is my secret weapon for under eye creasing, for making my concealer last all day long. This powder right here, I really cannot rave about it enough. It's so underrated. I don't understand why this is not a super viral popular product. But anyways, the secret for having smooth and natural looking under eyes is number one, to pat out any lines under your eyes before setting your concealer, and honestly do one eye at a time, because as soon as you look down and look back up, your concealer is probably creased a little bit. I mean, at least for me it does. So I'm gonna pick up that powder on a powder puff and tap off any excess just on my hand. And then once that is done, I'm going to press that powder into my under eyes very sparingly. You really don't want to overdo it here. And then I just take another tiny little bit of that powder and press that into my smile lines just to prevent them from creasing too much. And when I'm doing no makeup, I don't like to do a ton of powder, but I do like to go in with a little bit. So I'm going in with a bit of powder bronzer. This is one of my favorites. This is the NARS Laguna bronzing powder in the shade Laguna 00, and I'm just going to take that on a powder brush ever so lightly and softly, just over top of those areas that I applied the cream bronzer earlier. This is just going to help with the longevity of our makeup. A little bit of powder really helps make the makeup last throughout the day. You don't want to apply too much so that your makeup looks super matte and it loses that dimension and natural dewy satin skin finish. So now for blush, I'm going to match the tone of that blush to the tone on my cheeks. Again, going for more of a reddy pinky shade. These two shades here from my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, this is one of the older ones I think, but any of the Hourglass blushes have such a beautiful formula. They're very sheer and skin-like. They give a beautiful glow to the skin. And so I think I'm just gonna mix these two shades very sparingly. And I'm just going to apply a kiss of that blush on my cheeks. So now to finish off with the powder, I'm gonna mix these two shades here. They're just the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. And I'm just going to take that on a big brush and just really touch a tiny bit of that all over the rest of my face. Nothing crazy here. Again, sounding like a broken record. Very light-handed, less is more. And for the final step, I just want to add a little bit of glow to the face, and I am going in with the Victoria Beckham Reflect Highlighter Stick. This product is beautiful, heavenly, divine, gorgeous. This is one of the prettiest highlighters I've ever used, and I'm going to show you why. I like to take a little bit just on my finger and press that right on the highest point of my cheekbone, just a little bit, and this gives the most beautiful skin-like glow to the skin. It's not glittery, it's not chunky, it's just very subtle. Oh my gosh, look at that glow. It looks so pretty in person. I'm telling you, this highlighter is everything, and it just pulls the entire look together and makes everything look so natural. Just a little bit of glow can pull the whole look together. I'm just gonna pop on a little bit of mascara and a gloss, and I'll be right back. All right, so that is the final look. I really kept the rest of the makeup super simple and dialed back because obviously the skin is the star of the show in today's tutorial. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, just show some love. It really helps me out so much. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.